So now we've got Dectilon versus Fishspider. Dectilon and Fishspider are on more of the interesting decks from this tournament. Fishspider very well known, at least to me, as being somebody who makes a lot of very wonky decks and somehow gets them working more often than they should. Dectilon also loves doing a lot of real cool brews. So we've got a interesting value deck of Time Primal Shadow, and we're going to watch from Dectilon's side first. So we've got like Scavenging Spiteback and Wisdom of the Elders, lots of rectifiers, so tons of removal and silence, and then just like big finishers and Grodov's Burden and Nash, Vara Vengeance Seeker, stuff like that, really good value plays, versus Beggar's Cup, which is a Chalice list from Fishspider. So we've got a budget Chalice list, 2 Chit Crystalline Chalice, and 2 Kothon Far Watchers, just trying to get as much value out of those as possible, a bunch of Calibrates to try and dig down to them. And we're going to go and watch from Dectilon's side, as I said, get these 2 players up and ready to go. I don't want to waste too much time because Dectilon's been waiting so long. All right. And we'll give a good luck to Fishspider as well. Thanks for holding this thing. Oh, no, absolutely, no problem. I love doing commentary. Dectilon starting off with a nice hand, all other colors. Scorpion Wasp is a great way to kind of slow the game down, and Grimknife Assassin is a good way to start the game off. That's a fantastic beginning to this. Able to immediately put on some pressure to Fishspider, whose deck is going to be a little bit slower most of the time, right? I mean, Chalice being kind of a slow, grindy value deck for sure. And yeah, good move by Dectilon. I think they're just being willing to trade it. You don't need to worry about using the Rectifier. Instead, you can just use the Display of Knowledge to go ahead and grab a relic out of your deck if you want. Like grabbing Grodov's Burden would be a pretty good one. And Fishspider digging down for that Chalice, getting that Calibrate. See if they've got it. Twinning Ritual. That could be a really big threat. It could also be kind of a hang-up for Fishspider, because Twinning Ritual, of course, does give +1 to the extra copy, and that does put it out of range of being able to be Chaliced, so minor downside to actually running a Twinning Ritual in a Chalice list. Let's see what Fishspider does, though. Fishspider is always running a bunch of really wonky things. I mean, Fishspider right now in this list does have 4 Amaran Camel, and there we go, Chalice on the board. That's a really big threat for Dectilon. Dectilon's deck is also pretty slow, and so they need to find a way to get rid of that before it gets too much value. Grodov's Burden is a really good pickup for them off of that display earlier because of this. Very smart move by Dectilon to kind of do that in advance, knowing that they'd need to get rid of a Chalice, because this is one of the only ways to do it, if not the only way in their deck. I think it might be the only one, because they can bury it with the Bury the Past on this ability. We just got to see what Fishspider's up to in the meantime, and how much value they'll get out of it before Dectilon gets all the way up to 8, because that's the problem. Getting to 8 power is going to be tough before Fishspider just runs away with this game, drawing all these extra cards. And Calibrate, that could be a second Chalice. I like this. Fishspider smartly permafrosting the Rectifier so that there's no extra silence happening. And Fishspider now deciding to get in and get aggressive. Oh, and Dectilon got a Nash! Oh, that's perfect. Gets rid of this Messenger. Makes it so that the Chalice can't use it again. Gets a threat off the board. Lets the 3 damage come back in. Really great hit top deck for Dectilon here. Dectilon still needs more power, though, because ultimately they're still going to just get buried by this Chalice. Like, oh, yeah, here comes Karmic Guardian. 3/6. Drawing an extra card, too. Nash is scary, but with Fishspider having every single unit being a 2-for-1, like, Dectilon's got to close the game out or get those power cards. Only 1 away now.
Close your eyes. Listen.
So it depends on if Fishspider got a second Chalice off that Calibrate. Or off of all these draws. Like, has drawing 3 or 4 cards been enough for Fishspider to get out of this? Here's another Hawk. Just trying to fill their deck. Which is an advantage and a disadvantage. It fills the deck with a lot of things that you can use the Chalice with, but it does also lead to a big problem of, like, you're not less likely to draw the second Chalice. If Dectilon manages to get this Grodov's Burden and get rid of that Chalice, then Fishspider has a big problem. Fishspider down to 15. That 4/7's a pain, though. It'll block a lot of things. The big issue is that in the meantime, all of these 1/1s with Killer, they're gonna get real scary in a moment. And Fishspider, I don't think Fishspider can actually deal with an active Grodov's Burden. Looking at their deck, there's no disjunctions. There's nothing to deal with this. So when Grodov's Burden comes down, it is going to be a big issue for Fishspider. I mean, Nash has just been able to sit on the board for too long, unable to be dealt with, right? So it's made so many little killer units, there's going to be a reckoning in a second here when that burden comes down, and the units are just tossed away to give bigger things killer. Dectilon attacking in with killer to get the tribute and make a 6/6. I like that play. Yeah, and there's another camel for Fishspider. I mean, this is a lot of life gain, but it's ultimately just treading water. They're going to need to have an answer to this burden. Fishspider doesn't know that, though, right? Like, to us, it looks really bad for Fishspider. For Fishspider, they're like, oh man, I just gained back all that life. Like, last turn was totally blank. This is perfect. I mean, it's a little annoying there's all these 1/1 attackers, but not a big problem. And now, it's a big problem. Because being able to give Exalted onto all these killer units is just going to be incredible. Immediately attack. Dealing the damage to the Combre healer. It's an interesting move. I don't know that it actually matters, though. Because right now, Fishspider needs to find answers. Oof. Got the silence for the Nash, but, I mean, it still gets exalted on the killer units, and there's still another one waiting. It might be too little too late. Fishspider is gaining a lot of life, though. Putting it onto the camel. Oh, and putting more onto the camel? That's still not enough to save it, though, if Dectilon goes all in here. They just need to go killer and then killer. It does mean that it's 2 things down. Oh boy, I like this attack from Dectilon, forcing Fishspider. Is Fishspider gonna do... Oh no! That quick draw is gonna come down. Fishspider risking all 4 units and is about to get blown out.
Trust in the shadow.
Very punished here. And on top of all of the bad news for Fishspider, there's a second Nash waiting in the wings to just get more exalted. Dectilon just deciding to get off the top and hits one of their other legends. Oh no. The bad news for Fishspider just keeps piling on. Fishspider, despite drawing all of these extra cards, just feels so far behind. And I mean, there's another Messenger Hawk adding more cards to Fishspider's deck, but like I said,
Close your eyes.
I don't know that that's ultimately going to save you here. Yeah, making a very large camel, trying to just stop this Nash. but little do they know, Nash number 2 is going to come onto the board and start giving more things killer in a second. And here we go. Throw back that Messenger Hawk again. And yeah, we see a bunch of attacks here. It's basically free for Dectilon to just slam in, honestly, because of all the Exalted. Yeah, so that'll get Overwhelm. Oh no. So, I mean, that does give Overwhelm, right? Yeah, so we have 11 Deadly Exalted Overwhelm Vara and Killer on the Nash to get rid of the life gain for Fishspider. I mean, there's a lot of extra value that Fishspider is getting, but this board is just too much. Silence the Vara, but still having an Exalted trigger on it. Still needs to silence their Nash, too. Because how else are you going to stop this? I mean, it's just going to get Killer every single turn. And Fishspider without even a Chalice. It's looking exceptionally bad. The Overwhelm might have saved them from dying this turn, but I don't know how to get past the rest of this. Feels like Fishspider needs to draw like non-stop Desert Marshals, and even then I don't know that it's enough. Oh wow, and now we've got killer Scorpion Wasps with just slamming in. And there we go, Dectilon's got the line. Lethal Flying Vara. That's the game. Really well played by Fishspider, just trying to draw that game out as long as possible. But Dectilon drew both Nashes, their Grodov's Burden, and then off of the Grodov's Burden hit their Vara over half of their legends and rares just right away. They kept on just hitting them again and again and again, and it was way too much value for Fishspider to deal with. So we'll see how game 2 goes. Fishspider is on the bubble. This is, in fact, a loser's bracket match. So right now we have Fishspider versus Dectilon here. If Fishspider loses, they're out of the tournament. So it's a match point for Dectilon. We'll observe from Fishspider's side and see if they can get this Chalice going once again and dodge that Grodov's Burden. Alright, well, both of them are going anyways, so I don't have to do anything. Dectilon with a really nice fast start again, leading off with this Grip Knife Assassin, forcing Fishspider to have to deal with it. Fishspider's hand is looking really sketchy.
Send a message.
Oh, and here comes the second one. That's a good draw, though. Helping out Fishspider a little bit with their colors. They still need another time for this Karmic Guardian, but they're now in a position where if they draw a Chalice, they can play it. If they draw time, they can play the Karmic Guardian. If they play any power, if they get any power, they can play this Lumen Defenders. So, looking a lot nicer.
You're in the Crowd Watch.
And that Crowd Watch Recruiter is a great hit. Able to just trade away with the Grip Knife Assassin, get a bunch of value. And Dectilon just has all the answers. Immediate silence for it. Very obnoxious. Does Fishspider hit on this Calibrate? Not really. That's not the power card that they wanted. It's not a Chalice, and it's not a time. So, a bit of a miss there. It's not a full miss. I mean, you can just hit nothing on this, but it's certainly not what they wanted. Messenger Hawk making a bunch of Lumen Defenders. And, like, this is the thing about Messenger Hawk. I'm a bit of a skeptic about it, I would say. Because it's certainly going to be a problem to try and draw down to more important units later to just have a bunch of Lumen Defenders. If you have a Chalice, it's great because you can just keep on drawing, but if you don't have Chalice yet, it makes it harder for you to get to the Chalice. Dark Return, the Scavenging. Oh, wow. Dectilon just making this scale back bigger and bigger. A 9/9 scale back. Fishspider sitting here on some permafrost, though. Not actually in any real trouble. Last time just decided it was better to trade. Now, yeah, deciding that the math goes a little bit the other way now. Instead using it on the Borderlands Waykeeper and just getting rid of that 9/9 forever with the permafrost. Thing is, if Dectilon loses this Rectifier, they can use the Rectifier to get back their 9/9, right? It won't have Overwhelm anymore, but they can get rid of the permafrost, which, I was going to say, means that Fishspider probably wants to silence this Rectifier. And that's exactly what they do. It's a good move. Dectilon with the Scorpion Wasp, though, to take out the 2/3. This has got to be a frustrating game for Fishspider. It just feels like Dectilon has all the answers. And here comes Nash again, right after Fishspider used their Desert Marshal, and now has no answer for all of these little, what are they, Aranas that are going to come out? Oh. Like, Lumen Defender is a great blocker for a really big dumb idiot like Nash. Wait, what? No way. Dectilon's throwing away their Nash? They've got to have the display. Yeah, so there's the quick draw. Comes out, kills the Lumen Defender. And now an 8/6 Nash that's making 1/1 killer units every turn with no silence on Fishspider's side. Yeah, forcing them to use the permafrost. The problem is that they're going to use permafrost now, and they're going to have to use another removal later because of all the killer units. And I really like the combo of all the killer units with this scavenging spike back. It's been a lot more powerful than I gave it credit for, and it's really doing a number on Fishspider here. Although that was a great draw. Fishspider finally getting the time. They now have enough that they've got... Oh, God. Dectilon just has it all. Immediately gets the killer deadly combo off of the Cabal Repeater here and takes down the Karmic Guardian that was locking up the board. So Fishspider's got Twinning Ritual, Borderlands Waykeeper, and a Chalice activation. Instead just opts to go with the Lumen Defender. I was wondering if they would maybe use the defense. Oh, wow. Here comes Grodov's Burden. This is an absolute slaughter. It's incredible the number of hits that Dectilon has had turn after turn after turn. Dectilon just feeling unstoppable here. Every time the Fishspider gets something going, Dectilon has a perfect answer for it. This Nash is just carrying Dectilon through this tournament. A very nasty card. I'm making you laugh with that. I don't have a co-host, so there's my co-host. Tons of fantastic draws though from Dectilon. I mean, Chalice is the card that Fishspider wants, but it's not going to be enough. It's just too late. They're facing down enough damage that they have to chump block. And that's if Dectilon somehow can't put together enough killer to just get rid of it. Yeah, here comes Distillation. And Dectilon up 4 cards to 1. And there we go. Display of Knowledge, gets the quick draw, attacks through for 14 damage, and takes down the match. Dectilon going on through the losers 2-0, knocking Fishspider out. Really well played by both players. Fishspider did absolutely everything they could to stop their opponent from doing anything, but Dectilon was just non-stop value. That was unbelievable. Nash just could not be stopped.